after watching the video of Tynesha explaining her presenting problem with her dude and the struggles, I would say subsequent problems that she's having as a result of the relationship, definitely we start at the beginning with Tom's model of the pips. I'm describing Tanisha's pip as the first one. Interactions that include the problem behavior, such as conflict, and then it says tend to be stable over time. I am, and that's the one, I'm sorry, that uses distancing, pursuing, or defending and criticizing. I am hesitant about tend to be stable over time because she did not give me that perception in her video clip. In addition to that particular pip, the next thing I would describe, or the next dominant one I saw, would be the skip. Social, cultural, interpersonal patterns. I'm leaning towards that because she described a lot of the gender roles that seem to be out of alignment for her. She complained about this herself personally, as well as expressed the concerns and frustration of her family and friends. So really for me, those were the two dominant interpersonal or interactional patterns that I observed in her video clip. If I had to describe this method of therapy to Tynesha, I would try to sum it up as simple as possible. And what I wrote down was that the purpose of this method of therapy, which I still believe is the method of therapy altogether, is to bring about healing, promote wellness, and ultimately change. And that really works within a cycle. So we may receive healing from one thing that will promote wellness within the relationship and obviously promote change. And so it's a cyclical effect. But in between the different IPs of this particular theory, you have the tips, which are transforming interpersonal patterns. You have the dips, which are, bad experiences. So obviously right now she's in a dip. So deteriorating in interpersonal patterns. But as we work through those to identify what they are. And then knowing what they are will bring about a different way of addressing them. One of the most important things that I liked about this particular theory is that in the therapists, as they're doing their interview questions, they try to ask questions that would promote client self-healing as opposed to the therapist identifying the problem and trying to bring about some form of correction for the problem. So I think that is one of the positive parts about therapy in general, but definitely about this particular method of therapy, that to ask those type of questions so that the client is able to hear what they're saying. The therapist adds some language to help the client to understand, and then prayerfully they can bring about those own self-correcting behaviors, which thus end up promoting healing, wellness, and change.